up, all my fight fans? We got ourselves a fight night this Saturday. It's going to be one hell of a fight. We got ourselves a possibly a number one contender fight. We got Marlon Chito Vera versus Corey Sandhagen, the Sandman Sandhagen. I mean, that's a cool nickname. You gotta really admit that. But yeah, this is gonna be one hell of a fight, guys. This is gonna be one hell of a fight. You know, Chito Vera coming off quite a few good victories. He's fought guys like Rob Font, Jose Aldo. Unfortunately, he did lose to Jose Aldo. Frankie Edgar, and he's coming off a great victory over Dominic Cruz. You know, that crazy knockout that he was able to do. No one's ever been able to do that. No one's even come close to knocking out Dominic Cruz, but yet he was able to do that. You know, so he's making a lot of noise. You know, he did have an unfortunate loss a couple of fights back to Jose Aldo, but since then he's been making his way little by little by little to get himself a title shot. And if you guys remember, he actually had beaten Sean O'Malley. You know, Sean O'Malley, they had a fight. Jesus, I want to say what it was 2020, somewhere around that time frame, and maybe a little sooner, maybe a little yeah, don't quote me on the time, but nonetheless, he beat him. Maybe not a clear win. Because I do believe he did it like a kick, and his calf or whatever the case may be, pretty much messed up. I'm talking about Sean O'Malley. He could not continue the fight. You know, he dropped to the floor and pretty much was not being able to finish the fight. So the fight was awarded to Chito Vera. He became the victor. So with that being said, he still has been easing and slowly itching his way to a title fight with all these great victories. Where Corey, on the other hand, has actually had a few good fights and has actually fought an interim fight. You know, he's fought in guys like the champion Aljamain Sterling. He's fought in a number one contender fight with TJ Dillashaw, and then he's even fought for interim strap against Peter Yan. Now, unfortunately, he did lose these three fights. He did lose them. Some people may have given him that nod a little bit to TJ Dillashaw, you know, because a lot of people felt like he should have won that fight, but nonetheless, he still lost. In that Peter Yan fight, he was doing very well, but just not well enough. Peter Yan pretty much clearly won that fight with ease. I want to say super with ease, but you know, he pretty much was a clear victory in that fight. But here we are now again. You know, you got Corey Sandhagen pretty much trying his best to solidify himself, pretty much trying his best to get himself a shot finally, because like I said, he's already had a couple of attempts and it hasn't really gone his way. So I think this is almost the last clear attempt for him. You know, this is a big contender. Chito Vera, again, no punk. Chito Vera is getting himself closer to a title fight. So to me, I really feel strongly that this is a number one contender fight. So how are they going to win? Well, you know, Chito Vera is a little bit smaller, and you know, got Corey, who is a longer reach and taller and such like that. I do believe that they are I do believe, like I always hear stories that Corey Sandhagen is brilliant when it comes to wrestling, brilliant when it comes to striking, brilliant when it comes to the knees and such. You know, you saw those knees that he was able to land on Frankie Edgar, when he was able to land a few good shots on TJ Dillashaw, giving him problems. I know what people are gonna say, that TJ Dillashaw has some banged up knees and such like that, and I believe he even had a messed up shoulder, whatever the case may be. But still, he did very very well, and he also did very very well against Peter Yan. Peter Yan is no punk either. Peter Yan was once a great champion in that division, so he did very very well. With Chito Vera, he's super fast. He may start a little bit slower because in that Rob Font fight, you know, it almost looked like Rob Font was doing a little bit more work, but Chito Vera was doing a lot more damage, And Chito Vera hits extremely hard, extremely hard. So this is going to be a very tough competitive fight for these guys. I do think Corey Sandhagen just has a little bit edge just due to the fact that he's taller, maybe by 2 inches. It may not be much, but in fighting, it's a lot. And given the fact that he might have a little bit longer reach, he does pose a little bit more of a threat to Chito Vera. Chito Vera can maybe, like, he is a little bit of a bulldozer, and he does have fast hands, so he could sneakily ease his way in there. Now, as far as knees and such like that, I give that edge a little bit to Sandhagen, only because of the fact of his length, because of how tall he is. But as far as that goes, I can definitely see this being more of a kickboxing match rather than a wrestling match. Because I definitely don't give the edge to anybody in this one. You know, I don't know if Chito Vera wants to chance his way in there, trying to go for a takedown, get caught with those knees, get caught with those uppercuts and such like that. Same thing with Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen knows that, Marlon Vera is definitely no punk, and he definitely has strength and power to knock you out and put you out, and to hurt you really, really well. He's hurting a lot of opponents, and he's gave a lot of his opponents some really bad struggles. So, it really, really is going to be a very tough competitive fight, and I'm very much looking forward to that. But with that being said, let's go and see what happens if this opponent wins. Well, we're talking about this being a possible number one contender fight. With Chito Vera, if he happens to win, I could definitely see him getting a number one contender fight. Now, do I see that number one contender fight being soon? That title fight being soon? No, because there's another contender ahead of these guys, and his name is Merab. I can't say his name, the full name, not even gonna try. But Merab just beat Peter Yan very clearly, very clearly. Probably the worst Peter Yan's ever lost in his whole career. So I could definitely see the winner facing him, because right now the title is being defended by Aljamain Sterling against Henry Cejudo in May, UFC 288, I want to say. So that's going to be a title fight itself. We already know that's already going to be booked. The next fight after that, I really strongly feel that it's going to be Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley is going to get the next crack, because he did get a win over Peter Yan back in October. So he's going to be out for a while. The fight is already being booked. Now, if Aljamain Sterling wins, I could definitely see him fighting Sean O'Malley. I could definitely see that fighting Sean O'Malley. And the winner of this fight, just so happens to be for a true number one contender fight, would be against Merab. Now, I said that Sandhagen and Chito Vera should be a number one contender fight. That's my personal opinion. I think it is. Merab should definitely get another victory. Merab, in my personal opinion, should face the loser of this fight. But because of the way the whole landscape is because of how much of a superstar Sean O'Malley is, I just don't see Sean O'Malley taking another fight. I see Sean O'Malley taking a fight that just so happens to be for the championship. So that's my personal opinion, guys. But in the UFC world, that's what I feel like is going to happen. I feel like Aljamain, if he wins, he's just so happen going to be facing against Sean O'Malley. If he loses, then there's going to be a rematch, and all these guys are going to get pushed back more, and I feel like Sean O'Malley is going to have to take another fight, possibly against Merab or the winner of this fight. I mean, Chito Vera versus Sean O'Malley part 2, that's not, hey, what's not to like about that? Now, as far as Sandhagen, same thing. Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley, both about the same length, both about the same reach. That would actually be a very fun fight as well. Now, as far as Merab goes, him and Sandhagen, that would be interesting in itself. Can Sandhagen handle the crazy cardio and the crazy wrestling and the crazy grappling of Merab? Merab is just a little bulldog. This guy just attacks you and keeps you close, and is just been able to do whatever he wants whenever he wants, and he has cardio for days. So that's going to give any person in this division trouble. Really, really bad trouble. Now, for this fighter who loses, it's going to be kind of tough, because they're both getting up there in age. And Sandhagen, especially if Sandhagen loses, he's already had quite a few attempts. And it's just, I don't see what's next for him, possibly with the loss, other than the fact that he could try again. But it might be quite some time, because you already heard about I already just mentioned all this stuff that's going on in the bantamweight division. You got a possible, Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo is going to already fight. The possible winner of that is going to face Sean O'Malley. The possible winner of that is going to possibly face Merab, or whoever could be quite possibly the victor. So it's going to be a couple of years before you're going to actually see Chito Vera or Sandhagen get an actual title fight. It's not going to be sometime this year. Let's put it that way. Unless something drastically happens. And unless, like, Aljamain Sterling decides not to defend his title again, that's if he gets past Henry Cejudo, because Henry Cejudo is no easy task whatsoever. If he does get past him, because we already know Henry Cejudo, Aljamain Sterling and Merab are great friends, dear friends of each other. So, guys, there's just so much craziness going on in the bantamweight division, and I think we'll get a clear answer once we see that title fight with Henry Cejudo and Aljamain Sterling in May. But for this fight, it's definitely going to be fun. It's definitely going to be interesting. I'm very much looking forward to it. Chito Vera versus Sandhagen. Who do you guys got? Let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think is going to be next. Let me know how excited you guys are regarding this bantamweight division. It's on fire. Definitely it is, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.